This is going to be a little bit of a shorter should you summon, unfortunately. Your boy is getting his butt kicked by IBS right now, so I don't feel like doing much of anything. But I still gotta do this video for y'all. Summer Iris is here on Grand Summoners Global following the release of Summer Finn, and let me just tell you, she is such a better unit than Summer Finn. Summer Iris is kind of like the final piece of Exodia for Mono Fire. At least the new age Mono Fire with, like, you know, ascended characters and everything. This unit offers so much that it's kind of crazy they pack so much into a singular unit. From the skill to the art to the true art, all the stuff is just ridiculous. Like her skill, for an example. Her skill is able to increase her own arc gauge by 50% of the difference between her current arc gauge and maximum arc gauge, up to a max of 150. Now, what does that exactly mean? Pretty much, let's say she's at 0 arc gauge. The difference between her current arc gauge and maximum arc gauge, of course, 300. We take 50% of that, and that equals 150. So that means as soon as you start in a quest, you click your skill once, you get 150 arc gauge. Extremely potent skill right there. That is so much arch gen, and I know a lot of people maybe look at her slots and be like, oh my god, they're kind of terrible, but it doesn't really matter since she gets access to pretty much everything she needs right out the gate because of this skill. The art's able to buff up skill CT speed for everybody. Fire allies get even more skill CT speed. True art's just a magic res down, you know, nothing crazy. But the super art is crazy. Super art gives fire allies 10 arc gauge per second for 7 seconds, and you increase all allies' arch damage based on how high this unit's current HP is, up to a maximum of 250%. By the way, this is type B arch gen, which is very, very diluted. However, it doesn't matter on Mono Fire since everybody's arch gen is actually a different type, so her being type B doesn't matter whatsoever. If this wasn't enough, she has her unique passive, which is completely disgusting for fire characters, being able to buff up everybody's damage res by 15% and fire allies damage res by an additional 15%. So 30% DR, which makes her just so freaking good. Literally the key to the Mono Fire team and one of the must-have characters if you love Mono Fire. It's kind of crazy how good that team actually becomes once Summer Iris gets added onto it. And the team that I'm talking about, by the way, Sunraku, Valentine's Day Priscilla, Summer Iris, and Rin and Luvia. Rin and Luvia are the only ones that are pretty much replaceable. Everyone else, you know, is kind of like a staple, at least for right now at the current stage of the game we are in. You got 30% DR passively from Summer Iris, 15% DR passively from Sunraku, a active 30% DR buff from Priscilla's super art. You got crazy damage ups from Rin, plus you also have a damage res down from Rin. You got crit res down from Sunraku. You got physical damage buffs, like everything you could possibly want this team has, and it's just gonna go so freaking hard. It's crazy how good this team will actually be. Now, one thing that I do want to mention, Summer Iris is mainly just a fire supporter. She's not really that good outside of Mono Fire because, I mean, did you see the kit? Everything gets additional bonus for fire characters. If you're not using her on a fire team, well, she gets significantly weaker, which pretty much means that we can skip right to the verdict on this one. Summer Iris is no lie one of the strongest characters in the game if you have her on the team that she is supposed to be on. If you're someone who doesn't care about Mono Fire, or maybe you don't have the other pieces, or you can't even build like a somewhat decent Mono Fire team, if you get Summer Iris, I would highly advise against actually trying to pick this unit up, at least for the time being. Yes, she is a seasonal character and she probably won't come around too often, but the next time she comes around, maybe you're in a better spot to actually build a Mono Fire team because she will eventually come back. She's a GS unit. GS units always come back, even seasonal ones. Skipping out on Summer Iris really isn't like the end of the world. It's not like skipping out on a crossover unit and you don't know when that crossover unit will ever come back. If you're brand new to the game too, Summer Iris really doesn't offer a lot to you specifically. Since she wants to be on the Mono Fire team and you're a new player, you're not going to have the Mono Fire team she wants, and you're not going to get a lot of benefit out of her. Also, as a new player, you really shouldn't focus on mono teams at all, and you should just mainly be focusing on getting units that are just good in general. And that's pretty much the baseline of this. We haven't got too many characters, at least in this day and age, that have kind of followed this philosophy of being like, they're really only good on this specific team and that's it. Like the main one that comes to mind, of course, is Demon Lord Vox. If you don't have Demon Lord Vox on a mono dark demon team, well, he's just kind of poo-poo. So Summer Iris is a bit better though because she offers a bit more buffs and a bit more versatility in that regard, but still is kind of like in a similar vein. You really want this character to be all mono fire. And if you don't have mono fire, you don't really want to get Summer Iris at the current moment. Tell me down below if you guys are going to be summoning for Summer Iris or not. Me, myself, I kind of want to summon forward just because I do have a somewhat decent mono fire team that I could probably get away with using, but I don't have Sunraku, which is one of the biggest pieces that I'm missing, and missing out on Sunraku was such a huge L on my part, and man, I still to this day wish that I picked him up, but I didn't. So hopefully if Shangri-La Frontier ever comes back, I'll get lucky on Sunraku's banner. We'll have to see if I summon tomorrow or not. Well, you know, it all depends. It all depends, ladies and gentlemen. It all depends. But thank you all for coming out. It's been your boy P. If you enjoyed this video, have check out either one of the other videos popping on the screen now. Great content, guarantee you love them. Your boy is gonna go take a shower and lay down because I feel freaking terrible. Oh, don't forget to drink water, by the way.